Are you able to hear me now?
Start talking. Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Okay, but okay. So welcome to Unmute, by the way. And, Unmute is a platform whereby it just welcomes back all the uninhibited conversations that have been, in this lockdown that you've not been able to express. And, it's a platform for anybody who can narrate, who hasn't been able to narrate their stories and also wants to hear stories that are, that are so inspirational, just like yours. So, and you chose to unmute about entrepreneurship. So tell me, Jimmy, what is so unique about your entrepreneurship that you wanted to unmute about it?
Well, for one, I'm self-taught. I dropped out of my college quite pretty early, and didn't find the need to ever get back to college and get into an organized learning schedule. I've been doing multiple online learning programs throughout, but never gone into a design university or never gone to a design college, and never gone to a management college. So that is one thing that I've always been propagating and telling others, that there's a lot of learning that's possible in entrepreneurship by self-learning. And the more I come across people in the world who achieve things across and are self-taught, it kind of inspires me to keep going ahead.
That's amazing. So you are a designer, a hotelier, an entrepreneur, adventurer, developer, all of it. How do you manage to, literally juggle between all of these?
I guess if you just get the perspective correct. So if I look at a Kumar Mangalam Birla, he's a giant out there, a global giant, number one, number two, number three, all his companies, all his verticals, they operate out of more than 50 countries in the world. So when you set the perspective correct, you feel you're very small, you're just taking your baby steps around, and you look at Anand Mahindra work, you look at a Rajiv Bajaj work, and sets the perspective correct. So if you're juggling between 6 businesses, it's okay. They are kind of correlated and interrelated in some form or the other, because design is at the core of everything that we do across in our organization. But I guess it's very important for entrepreneurs and professionals to set the perspective correct. And so if you have any airs about yourself, they'll come crashing down, because you realize you're doing something which is peanut size compared to what the global giants are doing.
Yeah, but how do you manage between all of these? I mean, what is it that you do? What have you done in your structure? Yeah. Go on.
Okay, so technically you self-teach yourself. The manner to work is to bucket out things. So if I'm working on furniture manufacturing, I don't do anything else besides that. And the next bucket and thought and ideas are, if I'm working on hospitality in my resort, how to relaunch it, what to do, what kind of campaigns to go ahead with, what kind of manpower. There are 1,000 things that you work. So you just work on that bucket. And then within that bucket, you have various departments. One of the things that you need to do very early in life is to start trusting people, because it's only the trust and delegation with which you can stand on that ladder and take the next step. If you don't do the trust and delegation, you can't really move beyond. So if you try to do everything yourself, it's impossible. In my case, I either delegate 100% or I micromanage 100%. So in design, I micromanage 100%. In manufacturing, even today, I micromanage 100%. The new business that we are setting up, Della by Jimmy Mistry, which is a chain of retail stores, and interior products, pin to piano, everything. I micromanage every label, every packaging, every light, every fixture, every bathroom fixture. But when it comes to hospitality, comes to adventure, it comes to counterterrorism training, each of these businesses I micromanage at some point in time. But today they are being run by a team of fantastic professionals who are a part and parcel of my family. And they understand me, they understand my vision, and I keep making sure that they don't diverge from the values, the core values on which this organization has been built. And hence, I don't find it very challenging to manage 6 of these businesses. Yes, time is of the essence, and we'll end up doing something new all the time, which is what puts a stress on time and resources, resources in terms of finances and time, both are resources. So it is a little challenging at times. But I guess if you just bucket it out, it works very well. You need to stay ready to put in about 14 hours a day to 16 hours a day consistently. It cannot be once, twice, a year, 2 years, 10 years. I think it's a part and parcel. It's become second nature to us.
That's amazing. But what about your personal stress, Jimmy? What kind of stress do you go through? You're still managing 6 businesses, right? For us, sometimes even managing one piece of business becomes like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And how do you manage 6 businesses? And what is the stress aspect? Because today mental health is so very important. What are you doing about the stress aspect? And I'm sure there is stress.
Yeah, there is stress, and we can feel the stress. But I think the capacity to bear stress is what differentiates boys to men. So you need to build that capacity to be able to bear the stress and the pressure. Even I am human, I do feel it. But I guess if you have a discipline very early on in life to have a close set of people and communicate with your teams. So I always work with my team. I'm never alone. I'm never singled out in any decision making. All my decision makings across businesses are done with my team of people. And that's what helps me to divide my stress and give me the courage to bear the stress. Also, I guess being spiritual helps. If you seclude yourself and pray for about half an hour a day, it kind of helps you to get your compass pointing back in the north direction. Even now I keep talking to my mom that, I'm doing this and I'm really stressed about it. Please pray for me. So it works, and the prayers really seem to help. That's one way of mitigating stress for sure. That half an hour gives you the strength to pull on for the next 24 hours, and there you recharge your batteries again by praying again. So these are some of the things that you do. But talking to your people constantly helps you to come up with ideas and situations. You are not alone. You're not lonely. People in management who bottle up have a huge issue to deal with stress, because then they can't let go of what is brewing inside their head. The thoughts and ideas are not clear. You need to keep thoughts on paper. And again, I'm a great proponent of making sure that every single thing that's going around, all the situations that we are trying to work with, we put them down on paper. A, B, C, D, E for one bucket. We put every single thing down and then discuss it out. We use boards and walls very often and very common. So these are some of the things that help you to mitigate stress. And at the end of the day, you realize that there is no other solution, but you have to go through the grind. And that also gives strength to your shoulders. A little bit of exercising helps, and it gives you the physical strength to be able to bear the stress. So combination of spirituality, clear-cut communication, and a very open communication, and physical exercises. These 3 things put together help you to make sure that you're able to navigate your life and prepare for far larger things in life.
Fantastic. And you are a believer of the Parsi philosophy, right? How do you,
Absolutely.
so does that help you in your entrepreneurial ventures? Do you practice some of the philosophies while you actually incept your businesses? A lot of Apple, the company, believes in the Bhagavad Gita philosophy. Right. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you actually practice the Parsi philosophy in your business?
So when we speak about the value system comes from the philosophy. Humata Hukta Harvashta is good thoughts, good words, good deeds. But I have been way too involved with the Parsi community, especially the priests of the community. And whatever we do is a direct reflection of what we have been taught to do. So having love for animals, having love for plants, having love and respect for water, the environment comes very natural to a Parsi, because these are the things that have been ingrained deep into the value system that our parents have inculcated into us. And our religion and our prayers all stand for the same thing, just like the Hindus do. So for me, I'm the best myself when I'm left in my nature and natural environment, if I'm around with plants and if I'm around with animals. And I make sure that the water and the fire element come up. So I feel that these elements around make sure that your life is balanced. And at the end of the day, I think, Reema, it's super important for you to do something good to others. If that one value system works, everything else falls into place. And we believe that whatever you do, the success is to be measured by what you're doing for others. Success can never be measured by the number of zeros that you add to your bank balances. So for me, every environment that I go to and I work, upgrading the local community is very important. Hiring the local people is very, very important. Even today, after this typhoon and the calamity, whatever we are in Lonavala is thanks to the locals who support me out and out. We have about 900 of them working with us, and it gives us great power and strength. We run a school for Adivasi children right next to our property in Lonavala for 160 Adivasi kids. I'm mentoring all of them via the team of people who are helping me to do it. And I think that gives you a sense of responsibility that you need to live up to what you're doing, or else their careers and futures will depend upon your wrong decisions. So these are all value systems that are inculcated within us. Helping somebody who's weaker than you is, again, yet one more value. If you have it in you, I don't think you will ever go wrong in life. So if you want to act smart with somebody who's more powerful than you, who's more rich than you, who's more connected than you. If you try to do any of these with people who are weaker than you, it backfires to you. So these are some of the value systems with which, if you work, I think you do have a difficult night's sleep, but you have a good night's sleep. Your conscience is clear at any point in time.
Excellent. But Jimmy, are you able to see me? Because a lot of people here are saying they're unable to see me. Are you able to see me?
Yeah, you're coming little jaggered. Your frames are going and coming. So it's a hazy image.
God. Can I just log back in? Okay, give me 1 second and I will log back in.
Sure.
Yeah. While you can answer some questions that are coming your way, give me 1 second and I'll log back in.
Sure. Shoot them on. Yeah, we can go off setting. Huh?
No, you can connect it.
Go on to settings and connect. Reema, I can't hear you.
She's not playing.
Hi.
Clear now?
Yeah, you're very clear.
Okay, great. Oh my God, I wish I had done this before. Okay, so, and that was a wonderful answer that you just gave me. But, you know, so my question here is, are entrepreneurs born or made?
I guess entrepreneurs are made. Very few entrepreneurs are born. It's at a very early age. It was very clear to me, at least, that I'm gonna. So I come from a working class Parsi family, middle class background. My dad did a job for 33 years in one single company, like a typical good Parsi Baba would. But right in my school days, I used to try and dabble and sell dollars and earn a percentage in between. I used to modify cycles and make some money in school. In college, I used to modify motorcycles, and with the money I would get, I would do my motocross riding and participating in races. So for me, it was very, very clear, I'm going to get into business. I think it came to me through my mother. I've seen my mom struggle with small businesses that she used to do. She used to be a teacher, take tuitions, do sewing classes. Then she used to run a beauty parlor. So my bedroom in our house was a beauty salon. And it has been a great life because I've helped my mom in the kitchen and I've helped my mom in the salon. So it's been my parents have kind of brought me up, teaching me anything and everything across. And that has been a fantastic upbringing. I'm thankful to them for whatever I am today. It's because of that kind of an upbringing, I can perhaps manage my way around different things in life and with great ease.
That's amazing, because you famously once said that I didn't get into the business of architecture and design, but the business got into me. You know, what does that mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me take you through my journey of design. Like I said, I've never gone through formal education in design, but the informal education happened, and how it happened, I'll narrate the story. So whilst around, I think after I stopped my pest control and started with contracting projects, my first target was to try and get to architects and get them to give me some work of the other. So there's a building in Nepean Sea Road known as Bagesera, where I took a small electrical room, 200 square feet, and started a contracting office. And one of the first earlier jobs were plastering a lift room right across building where Bank of Baroda is. And from that money, I bought my scooter. And I did contracting jobs with architects, bigger and bigger and bigger jobs. So we used to do vacation homes as a contractor in Pauna, Alibag, Nanzgaon, Kashid, with various architects, and then start visiting architecture firms and design firms in Bombay and trying to ask them for contracting jobs. This gave me a lot of insight into methods of working of different architects and their design styles. So why would one architect select a sleeper wood and make it rustic? And why would another architect do very contemporary work? And what is his background? What is his qualification? Has he worked abroad and come back? It gave me a lot of indirect learning whilst I was working. This went on till 95, when for the first time I went to Italy and I wanted to stop doing contracting and get into furniture imports. So we were the first people in India to start import of Italian furniture. And the first Italian furniture company I visited in Milan gave me an inroads into some of the finest design studios there, who used to design and manufacture products from them. So like a typical buyer, I was never satisfied by just looking at the products. And I would request the companies if I could visit the design studios. So Charles Pollock, Elghello Manelli, Ettore Sozzas, these are the kind of the legendary design studios that used to work with Olivetti Synthesis. And I, at a very early stage, I got and inroads into these kind of design studios and their methods of working and the rest of the products they were designing for the rest of the world. These guys are legendary in the world of design. And slowly I started representing about 27 Italian companies in India. And that taught me everything I needed to know, be it from handles, hardware, glass pieces, the ghost chair. I've been to Poltronov Frau factory in 96, and I've seen leather being cut with a green laser guided light. Now those days, I didn't even know what a laser light was. And seeing production happening in Olivetti factories with robotized arms way back in 96 was a great learning. It literally leapfrogged me into design and technology that govern those designs and manufacturing. So I would be in Milan and in Pesaro Fano, which was my main hub where I would deal with the companies almost twice a month. I would go and pick up stuff from Italy, literally manually carry things in bags, get it across here, courier it, sea freight it, and we've done all kinds of things. Let me share a joke with you. Those days, if you took a ticket to travel to US, so if you were going to New York and coming back, you could carry unlimited weight. 2 bags were allowed. So I would actually have work in Italy, go to Italy, go to the sofa company, get the leather in my suitcases, travel to America, stay a day there, and take the next flight and come back so I don't have to pay excess baggage. So I've done all kinds of things. I've been a courier, I've picked up stuff, I've imported stuff. And during the way, I've learned things. And when I would be back in India, I started selling furniture and these posh Italian pieces that I was representing to various architects. I set up the first Italian furniture showroom in Mumbai in Tardeo. That was 96. I also had the proud privilege of being the first man in India to hold an entire Italian furniture exhibition at Nehru Center. Very few people know this, but we pioneered imports of Italian furniture in India and set up an exhibition. So the whole Nehru Center was taken over by us, and we did an exhibition that was inaugurated by the Italian Consul General then, and Pramod Navalkar and Rustam Trinadas. These are the guys who were around me, who I was motivated with, and each one of them played some role in my life. So that's the beginning of the journey for design. And when I would interact with these architects, I would tell them all the new things that they had no clue about. They had no knowledge about these design studios. And when I would deliver these pieces and do project after project in India, it became very interesting. And I soon began to enjoy the kind of relationship with some of these architects that I enjoy till today. We back-to-back went into manufacturing of furniture in 97. We set up a factory in Daman. It was a factory on rent that we later landed up buying in 2004. So it was design happened with furniture. And then I started doing complete interior contracting. My first job was HDFC Raman House, where Mr. Deepak Parekh used to sit, or he still sits, I don't know. But HDFC Raman House was my first project for a very brilliant architect, a very low profile architect, Uday Joshi. I did the entire end-to-end interior as a contractor. And soon I realized that I could have complemented Uday in a lot of ways, and I could do it. So I did the first office for Star TV at Mahalakshmi, Kamla Mills. Those days, Kamla Mills, Star TV was one of the first offices. And in 2000 or 99, and I designed that office. And right enough, the first office I did as a turnkey designer, I got a triple ID award in Young Design Practice. Back to back, there was no looking back, and we signed up projects across India, and we kept doing bigger and bigger offices, bigger and bigger studios. I think 90% of India's television stations were designed by us at one point in time. It grew and grew till the time, I think 2004, where we ventured into architecture. Again, Star was the first client. Star News building was my first architectural project. And I never looked back. Then I got into mass housing, master planning, townships, and I got into specific architecture and designs. By the time I was exposed to IDEO design and design thinking principles and processes, that changed my way of designing completely. I wanted my designs to be more impactful, to have a positive impact on the occupants. I wouldn't say humanity at large, but the occupants for the premises I used to design for. So design has happened through a backdoor entry, and it's come into my life. And then each time I would go for pitching on a project, I had to compete with these same architects for whom I used to work as a contractor once upon a time. And everybody knew I was not qualified. So my architecture designs had to stand out. And people had to really, considering the fact I'm not qualified, yet give me the project. So the designs had to have so much of dum in it, had to have so much of steam in it. So I had to work harder. So if another architect would work 12 hours, I would have to work 18 hours, 20 hours on that particular presentation and create something which is different. And then soon enough, creating something different became our benchmark. And so that's my story in design.
And that's how business got, which is literally a power talk. Yeah, this is literally a power talk, Jimmy. But tell me something. So, I'm going to do, so we want to understand certain views of yours, and I need really quick answers, like one word or one sentence answers. Okay. And I'm going to ask you these questions. So, fasten your seatbelts. And so what we do is also, Jimmy, this is also for upliftment of women entrepreneurs. And I strongly believe in that. I'm the founder of Pinkathon, and, it's always been about women. And this is also about one such entrepreneur, which is Krishna Vora Tamalia, who owns a beauty brand, which is called Mom's Therapy. And she's going to send you something really nice for your entire family if you win the rapid fire that we're going to do now. And let me start. Yeah. What's the best advice you've ever got?
Keep growing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. What's the worst advice you ever got?
Go ahead and do it.
What? Sorry, I didn't get that. What did you say?
Go ahead and do it.
Okay. Describe failure.
So every time there's a new business idea, go ahead and do it.
Because the belief is so strong.
I'm losing, Reema, I'm losing you in between. Huh? Audio also, I'm losing you in between, but continue going.
Okay. I need this as a recorded episode, and I'm not going to get any of it. It's going to be really sad. But anyways, describe failure in one word.
Sad, hurtful, but also re-emphasizing the fact you need to get your basics right and move ahead.
Okay. Describe your entrepreneurial journey in one word.
Happening.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. What?
Happening.
Happening. Okay.
It's still happening, so it's happening.
But you are this really cool entrepreneur, I feel. Okay. Would you rather be the richest man in the world or a world thought leader?
A thought leader.
Okay. So some of the things that we're going to know about you now, okay? The things you do when you wake up.
I pray. I pray for 2 minutes. The minute I touch my feet to the ground, I pray. I don't talk to anybody. I do nothing. That 2 minutes is between me and God up there to give me strength for the rest of the day.
How beautiful is that? Your favorite brands or your businesses, whichever.
There are too many, Reema. I can't give you a one-word answer. There are too many of these brands that I can relate to. So I can't give you a one-word answer on this one.
Okay. And thought leaders you look up to?
Thomas Heatherwick. He's somebody I really look up to. I've been speaking about him. I'm completely in awe of that man. Every project he designs, it's unique, and it's unique in the world. The vessel in New York, the buses in the city of London, the Olympic quadrant. And I'm very proud that he's put my name in acknowledgements in his 600-page book.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, your guilty pleasures.
My single malt and my bike racing.
Your single malt and? Sorry, I can't hear you.
My single malt and my bikes.
Your bikes. I'm going to come to the bikes. Yep. And electronic gadgets that you cannot live without.
My iPhone.
Okay. Your favorite bikes.
Quite a few of them, but a Y2K is definitely one of my favorite bikes that I look up to aspiring. But I like my Ninja, and I like my Triumph Rocket 3. So I'm good with any bike that's big machines and fast.
Upcoming Indian entrepreneurs to watch out for.
Actually, the new generation entrepreneurs are fantastic, and too many of them are in the forefront. You keep worrying who's going to jump from the back and try to be ahead of you. But I keep meeting many more people in the hospitality industry. Ritesh is definitely one person who I kind of am enamored with. What he's done with the brand Oyo, made hospitality scalable, and I wish I could do that with what brand in hospitality we have created in experiential hospitality luxury segment. If we could make it scalable, so that's one person I would really like to emulate.
And what is the food what kind of food do you love to eat?
I love my Parsi ghar ka khana. I'm very simple, but I do love Italian food, and I love Conti and Mediterranean cuisine.
You know, someone just said there have to be like, I wish there were many Parsis like you. Someone just said that. Yep. And,
thank you.
And finally, your favorite holiday destination?
I think London.
I know, guys, I'm sorry. I know you're having trouble with my connection. I don't know what happened. And it's really sad because, I was looking forward to this interview more than anyone else. But anyways, there's one more question for you, Jimmy, which says, what is that one thing that you would never do?
Let anybody down.
Wow. Yeah, Raga, who is my business partner, is so happy because she's back in London and you said London. So she says, yeah, London. And she was the one who asked that question. So Raga, he would never let anybody down. Okay, so Jimmy, let's coming back to, tell me, what is success to you? You are so successful today. And you're all of 49. And guys, I've let out his age. He's all of 49. He's good looking, he's successful, he's all of it. How do you define success?
So success can be directly defined by the way you are going to impact other people's lives and what kind of a legacy you leave behind, what kind of impact you have on other people. So the more the severe, the more stronger, the more outreaching impact you're going to have on a larger section of the society. That's going to determine the level of success you achieve before you breathe your last.
That's amazing. But how much role does money have to play in how successful you are?
Well, money plays a very important role. There are so many things you want to do. So 160 kids is what we are affording to do at Della Resorts, Della Adventure. I wish I could do it to 16,000 kids, 160,000 kids. So money plays a very important role. Our NGO for Parsi priests have been working on since 2006, taking care of them, their medical needs and their children's education. I wish I could do much more for them. You need money for doing all these things. So anything that you want to do without blinking an eyelid, you need money for doing these things. And you see how this little amount of money can impact human lives. And that's where you realize the importance and value of money.
You know, someone has beautifully said that you are rich in thoughts, which is such a beautiful thing to say. There's a lovely question from Umang who says that if you were to go back 15 years, what would you do differently?
Difficult to say, but if I were to go back 15 years, I would have moved out of the interiors and got into real estate far, far earlier. That was the right time for me to get into real estate in 96, 97, the days I was dabbling with furniture and the days I was dabbling with interiors. I wish I had gone into real estate. I think we would have had a far bigger balance sheet and a far larger legacy of doing the kind of projects that we do and impacting people's lives by creating housing is a very, very important thing for humanity. And would have tried to do my best that I could have, but no regrets. Now that we are trying to do our level best into each of the businesses we are working in, but we are working something currently that would really have a far-reaching impact on human lives, and it's going to be known as Della Leaders Club. That's something that we've been working in the last 3 months of lockdown. We hope to launch it very, very soon. And if that goes live the way we've envisioned it, we will be able to reach out and impact human lives, lives of entrepreneurs, lives of leaders in a very, very positive way.
So that was my next question to you. So what next? You've got 6 businesses, all established, all beautiful. So Della Leaders Club is the new one?
Yeah, so we still have to launch Della Stores, which is a business in the making for 5 years. And now we need to, the showroom is ready. We're just waiting for things to finish. And I think post Diwali or Diwali, we should be able to launch it. And before that, we launched Della Leaders Club. And that's something that we are very, very excited because it's going to be without boundaries. Our Della Leaders Club can take us global. We can try and target to establish chapters in Mumbai and maybe a chapter in New York. So we are working on it very, very strongly.
We're super excited about that one. And, which has been your biggest failure, Jimmy?
I've had too many failures, and till today there are businesses where we struggle. So perhaps we moved, and now today we are getting back into the business of selling interior products. We've had set up a graphics company in between, known as Pearl Net Graphics. It didn't work out. There's so many unsuccessful stories across. And small things keep happening. We have a chicky and fudge manufacturing thing that happens in Lonavala, and we sell it over here. But we tried doing online sales, you are unsuccessful. So these kind of failures teach you a lot in life, and it's a constant struggle. Nothing comes easy. So when we launch Della by Jimmy Mistry and really impact the interior world and take India by storm, it is going to be a success. But right now, it's a struggle to make 2 ends meet and make sure that this project that's got elongated so much, we are able to sustain it and still go for the launch and come back with a bang and launch the range of products and make them acceptable.
Okay, and there is a quick question which I need to read. For a new startup or any young generation, which field will you give more exposure and business? Basically, which field will we look at for a young entrepreneur? He is young himself, but hey, yeah.
I think it's an open canvas. When you're young, you have got age at your side, and you can afford to take much more amount of risk because what you have to lose is far lesser than what you have to lose. You're going to be playing with your life. Today, if I have to take a decision, I have to think of the 2,000 employees and their lives and their family lives that would get disrupted if I take wrong decisions. So I need to be selfishly taking cautious decisions. But when you are young, you have an open canvas. Anything online is fantastic. Any kind of a disruption that you can see coming way early, you will leapfrog and come way ahead. So there is a lot of opportunity out there, and especially post-COVID, I think things are very dynamic. Things are going to change drastically. Nobody knows how many things will impact human lives in a certain way. Lives will never be the same again in some directions. So this is a time for them to innovate. And I guess if you make a purpose as helping humanity, you invariably, as a default, end up innovating something that's way different that nobody else had thought of, because your purpose and value is far larger than the need to make money. So for young people, go out there and try and impact human lives and humanity in a positive way.
I think this is so beautiful. And, I also know how much you love animals and especially elephants as well. So if you had the power to change animals, what would it be? I saw your post on the elephant.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Okay, so if you have the
Yeah.
power to change something for animals, what would it be? Because I saw your post on the elephant and it was heart touching. So what would it be?
So cruelty to animals is something that my heart goes out to. I can't control myself. I lose it completely. Cruelty to animals is something that needs to be very very strongly condemned in the Indian Penal Code. This particular case in point for the elephants, 11,000 elephants have been killed in different ways. Supreme Court has not done a single hearing in 6 years. A 3,000-page application has been given. So obviously something is wrong and something needs to be corrected. After this elephant's sacrifice, I think the whole country has woken up to it. The PMO has given a very strong message to the authorities and the Chief Minister has been involved. Now things will move in a positive direction. But any kind of cruelty to animals has to be looked upon. And also our archaic laws regarding animals need to be changed. For example, if you're trying to give any kind of education regarding reptiles and snakes, you cannot keep snakes to be able to give any kind of training on snakes. So you need to relook at these laws. What is to be done for the sake of training and betterment of the species has to be understood, rather than having an archaic law and say, okay, you cannot do this. So there are so many of these things that need to be looked at. How will you give education to the younger generation if they think of snakes as creatures that are going to fly and come and catch you on your neck? You should see how the kids behave or how adults behave in front of a snake. And they have no knowledge on it, how to recognize a poisonous, non-poisonous snake. The basic things are missing. So if the laws can be regulated and controlled and got in line with modern day laws of the first world countries, I think animals can have a better life and our country can have a better life.
That is amazing, Jimmy. That is amazing. It really felt bad, the incident, and I'm so glad that people like you, and I hope you make a difference in this world, because this really requires a lot of attention. There is something, another beautiful question is, what is more tougher, to achieve success or to maintain that success?
Both the things are as difficult, achieving success and maintaining success, because once you achieve it, maintaining it is going to be as difficult until the time you do more things to get to the next level of success. So success is not, people often think of success as one station that you've achieved, but it's not, because it's a very dynamic thing. It's going to keep moving. The stations have to keep coming up. You need to keep rolling down and keep heading to the next direction. So success is not something which is a
I think the
one-time
question,
job. Apple created magic and Apple continues to create magic.
absolutely. And they constantly, I think innovation is the key, where Apple, totally, the design thinking, the innovation, just the thoughts that you have provided us today, I think it's amazing. So I think there are questions that never ending questions, Jimmy. I mean, they're just going on and on. But being architecture, where should the target of graduation? So the question is, being architecture, where one should target after graduation in market? Okay, that's another question. So
Okay, so if you're a student in architecture, first of all, do a shitloads of self-study. Like I said, I'm not a proponent of the curriculum that you're learning in the university. It's not going to get you anywhere. You need to, of course, do it and get your degree, but you need to self-learn. Look at architectural design practices. Look at practices that are impacting societies, communities. Get into the sensibility of that. Sanitize yourself with what great architects across the world are doing with very, very small remote communities. And if that's your calling, understand it and start working on it. Look for design practices that you should intern with. Get an exposure to the methods of thinking. There are some fantastic architects, and each day when you come across these guys, you realize what kind of great impact they've been able to have on the architecture of its time, on the communities, the local communities, be it in urban sense or in rural sense, because there are communities in urban sense like low income housing that you need to look at if you can better human lives there. Now, if your calling comes in this direction, you are in the right direction and nobody can hold you down. Just don't focus on doing your own job and doing your own practice. First, go ahead and get an exposure, because that exposure is what's going to make a difference. It is not something, don't take a pen and pencil and start sketching. Don't take the mouse and start drawing. I think you need to do 90% homework and 10% work. Most architects have a problem with me when they try to work with me is their senses in terms of homework, in terms of research is very, very poor. And their thought process has been doctored by the universities they come from. I personally believe in allowing myself to do as much research on a topic that I'm going to be touching or working for, and then get to doing it. Most people do 90% work and 10% homework. It is not going to get you anywhere. But the true intention and value system of wanting to better this human life in any which way you can will ultimately speak volumes in the kind of work you do.
My God, I think you exude energy, you exude light. You know, it's amazing. So I just want, you know, Black Lives Matter. That was the, you know, I'm sure you heard of the incident. What is your opinion, Jimmy? Black Lives Matter.
Listen, Reema, I'm not a person to join the bandwagon. The whole world is saying Black Lives Matter. Even I feel Black Lives Matter. But in India, the migrant lives matter. People's lives have been disrupted. All our socialites in India are all talking about Black lives, Black lives. Yes, I'm not saying Black lives don't matter. They do matter and I respect it. But let's do it in context to the Indian scenario right now. Corona has disrupted crores of people. And these people, some of them are never going to get their jobs back. They've gone back to their villages. They've left their rooms. Their lives have been really, really disrupted. Some of the people who left 2 months back have still not reached their homes. When they get to their homes, they have been quarantined in horrible facilities, and which the state governments in various states have offered. It's really a touchy situation. Guys, get realistic about Indian situations. Think of your brothers and sisters here before beginning to shout slogans for the Black lives. Sorry, I'm who I am. I speak my mind out.
You are not who you are. You are amazing. So thank you, Jimmy. I think thank you for all that you've given us today. So many learnings, you know, 90%. I mean, just everything was incredible about your journey. And it's amazing. I hope everybody here I hope I answered as many questions. I could take as many questions. Yes, Indian lives matter. Yes, well said, sir. Everybody's saying amazing to the point. And I hope I was able to take as many questions. You know, Jimmy, is there a question that you thought was amazing? Because you are going to give away something really nice for the best question. So is there a question that you thought was your favorite?
I guess the whole series of questions that you shot at me were nice. They were sensible, rapid fire. And the whole interaction has been great. I just wish that we would have got the opportunity and the network would have behaved. But I'm sure you and I both have a lot of time to do things all over again, and we'll both make sure that either we are together whilst we are doing it. So we will make sure that we are in the same place at the same time and then do this again.
Okay, but we have to select one from the viewers. So I thought the one with elephant, the question, Devyani, I think shot a really nice question, and I thought Shaju, who spoke about you know, how success should also be maintained, or whether it's, you know, it's difficult to maintain. I thought those questions were really nice, and I think you're giving away something, right, from Della Jumbo.
Yes, the elephant question, the elephant question was nice.
Yes, and you get something special, Devyani. From,
yes, we are giving away passes from Della. And yeah, we're giving away jumbo passes at Adventure Park to come and spend a day and be with us over here. And if I'm around, we'll say hi.
Wonderful. And you know, one last question that the audience wants to know is, why did you name your businesses Della?
Wow. It used to be Technica before. And when we ventured to Dubai in '98 with our showroom, at that time it was not very happening to have an Indian company sell very fancy office furniture there. So we were requested to change the name into something which was Italian sounding, and Della Technica was as Italian as we could do it. So we just moved the whole thing to Della Technica, and somewhere down the line through the years we dropped Technica out of it. It became Della as a brand name. And today we are happy and proud to have this brand across our businesses. It stands for values, it stands for design, it stands for respectable brand, it stands for aspiring brand. And now with Della stores and 2,500 products, I think there's a lot more bandwidth that this brand will demand.
Wow, you are really a force to reckon with, Jimmy. And I'm so glad you're such a dear friend of mine. By the way, it's Jimmy's birthday tomorrow, and he's going back. And you know what? The secret is that he's going back home. So he's currently in Lonavala. He's driving back only to celebrate his birthday with his mother. And that is adorable, right? So it just shows the values. It just shows what he's made up of. So Jimmy, you are amazing, and thank you. Thank you for spending all the time unmute, and thank you for unmuting your entrepreneurial journey on this show. But we will have to do a rerun because we
Thank
need
you,
to
Reema.
be clear in the way we look. Thank you so
We will,
much.
we will.
One
Thank you, and I
last
loved it.
message to all of
Love the whole experience.
Yes, and one last message to all our viewers, because they just say hello and hi to them, and everybody's saying happy birthday to you now. Yeah. One last message for
Thank
all
you all
your
for your
viewers.
wishes. And the last message that I would love to leave you all with, go out there, disrupt as much as you can, help humanity as much as you can, take care of animals around you, and you're good to go for life, and lead a very, very gratifying and a satisfied life. Stay safe.
Jai Ho, Jimmy Mistry. Take care, Jimmy. Take care.
Bye. Cheers. See ya.
Bye-bye. Cheers. Cheers. Bye-bye.